Hello and good evening. Welcome to Vocabulary 1 English Vocabulary and Use, provided by Logos College. Today, my webcam is still having a little bit of issue, so I cannot record myself, but that's that isn't necessary. So today, we're going to be starting in English Vocabulary and Use. Please open up your textbook to page 18. If not, I included the lesson plan. So if you don't have the textbook, then just download the file and then go along with me. It is Unit 18, Around the Home. We are going to start reading the lessons, and then as we read, I want you to read it out loud with me and practice with me. Some of the vocabularies, I will explain some of the vocabularies, and I'll tell you the difference and how do we use it. So let's start reading this, and as I've said before, please read along with me, and when you read along with me, I want you to read out loud. When you read out loud, it's a way for you to practice your English, especially your pronunciation. Okay, so here we go, everyone, let's start reading together. When we first got married, we lived in a one-bedroom flat with a small kitchen. Flat. For this is typically not American English. We don't call this a flat, okay? So for a flat, usually it's an apartment. So for us, we usually call it an apartment. So this is American English. Apartment is an American English, and flat is either a British or Australian English. We lived in a one-bedroom flat with a small kitchen, a living room, and a bathroom. So, as we continue, this is one word that I want everybody to practice with me because I still hear a lot of mispronunciation. For this one, with the TH, for pronunciation wise, the TH, we change it into an F sound. So we change this into a F sound. So on the pronunciation side, we say bath with the F sound. See, so we say bath room. Because a lot of the time I hear this pronunciation as a bat with a T, bat room. So this is not a bat room. This is a F sound, bathroom. When our first child was born, she had to share our bedroom. Shared, it's when they already give you the explanation right here. Use something at the same time as someone. Now we live in a 4-bedroom house. Our bedroom has an ensuite bathroom, a bathroom connected to the bedroom. Sometimes you will hear this word, a master bathroom. What it means is it's a big bathroom. Usually it's in the biggest living room. I mean the biggest bedroom. So when we say master bedroom, usually, oops, sorry, I misspelled this. Usually this means the biggest bedroom. And we say master bathroom, usually these two comes together. So these two comes together. You go into the bedroom, and then the master bathroom is with the bedroom. Ensuite bathroom, I've not heard this saying before, so I am not sure, but I don't think this is an American English saying. Our 2 teenage children have their own rooms. Own rooms means they do not have to share. They have each room. So one room has one person there. That's what it means by their own rooms. We have a spare room for guests and another bathroom. Downstairs, there's a living room, a dining room, and a study. A study is a room where people can work. We've also got a lovely big kitchen with a fridge, freezer, a cooker with 2 ovens, and a dishwasher. Dishwasher is a machine that washes dishes. Next to it, there's a small utility room where we keep the washing machine. Okay, so let's look at some of these vocabularies as we cover this lesson right here. Uh, some of these words is a little bit different for American English. For example, utility. Oops, sorry, utility room. Oh, for learning wise, whenever you guys whenever there's a red underline here in Microsoft Word, that means this is a misspelled word. So you just right click this and it'll give you the options to give you the right spelling. A lot of times we don't call it a utility room, we call it a laundry room. So this is the difference, a utility room and a laundry room. The first time I hear utility room is when I'm teaching English here, because I don't think this is an American saying. Okay, and a study where people can work. This word, a study, right? A lot of the times we call it a home office where we can work not at the office, but we work at home. So sometimes you can call this a home office, or it's the same as a study. Okay, so continuing with this, let's look at some of these, okay? So we call this a kettle. A kettle is a pot that boils water. We use this to boil water. This is a microwave oven. I don't know what. For this, they call it a cooker. We just call it for a cooker, we just call it, for American, we call it a stove. There's a V sound right here. Cooker is a stove with a V sound, stove. We have an oven. Oven is where you cook it right here, and the stove is on the top. See, so oven is on the bottom and stove is on the top. Then we have your sink. They call this tap. So for tap, for American English, we call it a faucet. So this is the difference. This is where water comes out. So they call it a tap, but for us, we call it a faucet. And then with the fridge, there's a freezer and a fridge. A lot of the times for American English, we just call both of this a fridge. If we call it a freezer, it's usually its own little machine right here. But for us, we just call this a fridge. It comes with a fridge where everything is cool, and we call it a freezer where everything freezes. That's where you put your meat, and this is where you put your vegetable. So this is the only difference. We don't usually call this freezer. We just call this whole entire unit a fridge. Okay, continuing with the lesson. Now, when we look at these, we call this tile. It's where everybody has it. I don't know what's it called in Lao, but this is what we call it in English, tiles, with the S. So we say tie with the I sound, and the LES, we just call it, oops, sorry, let me fix this, yo. And then we just add an S. So, see, tiles. So with this, the LES right here, it pronounces as a yos, tiles. Okay, so continue with this. Now we are going to look at some furnitures, alright? So for the furnitures, we are going to look at a sofa. You see, so sofa, of course, Lao calls it sofa, and the little pillows that we put here, we call it a cushions or cushions. And for people with just only one chair that sits comfortably, we call it an armchair. So the difference between a sofa and an armchair is that sofa, they're a little bit more soft, and armchairs, it's a little bit more harder. Usually armchairs only sits one person, and sofa can sit up to 3 people or 4 people. And then continuing with the vocabularies, now we have what we call on the floor. For America, we usually like carpet, but I've seen wooden floor and I see tile floor. So tile is just like this. A lot of the times you will see carpet more than wooden, but you will see occasionally tiles, but a lot of the times we use tiles in the kitchen. Everywhere else we put a carpet in there. And then going on with the next vocabulary, we have curtains. You see your windows is right here. We have a piece of cloth and we can move it back and forth. So we call this curtains. If not, we have these. They are called blinds. I have not seen too many blinds in Laos. I've only seen curtains. So blinds, it's some plastic that you can just pull the string right here and it goes up and goes down. Continue with the next vocabulary, a duvet. So this is something that I haven't heard too much before. A duvet is a big, soft, not a big, but a thick, thick or big, soft blanket. So this is the difference. You don't see this in areas where it's too hot. Usually you see this out in the East Coast where it's a little bit more cooler because these are very big blankets and they're very, very warm. And then the next one is blanket. So blanket is your normal blanket. It is not too big. It's not too big. It's just usually thin. So duvet is just a big, thick, soft blanket. So let's look at with these. When we're gonna ask about these, which do you prefer? Prefer means what you like more than the other. So when you say the word prefer, I prefer oranges to apples. So when you say this, I prefer oranges to apples, you are just saying with this word prefer. Let me color it. When you say I prefer, it means I like oranges I like oranges more than apples. So if they go, do you want an apple or you want an orange? If you say I prefer, that means I want this one instead of this one. I like orange more than apples. So this is where the word prefer means, meaning you choose. It means you choose or like A more than B. So when you prefer, you choose or like A more than B. So this is what the word prefer means. See, I like oranges more than apples. I prefer to stay home, right? So that means I want to stay home. So this is what It just means I want to stay home. I don't want to do anything. So I prefer to stay home. So that's what it means. So for this, for me, I prefer or I like a sofa more than an armchair. I like, I prefer carpet over wooden floor. I prefer blinds over curtains. And I prefer a blanket to a duvet. That means I like this more than this. I have two choices, A or B. When I say I prefer, it means I take this one over this one. I prefer carpet over wooden floor. I want carpet more than I want wooden floor. I prefer a cushion over an armchair. So I want a sofa, I want a sofa more than I want an armchair. So this is the reading for you guys. For the next video, we'll be covering exercises, and from the exercises, I will explain the exercises to you guys, and I will give you guys the homework. So hope to see you in video 2. Video 2 will be exercises and homework. Until then, have a good evening.